So the last function says, and perhaps the final function says, which is the most important function, it says that the constitution is to express the fundamental identity of the people. Now if I am in a country like India, I definitely have certain kinds of identity that is basically provided by my constitution. So at general, at a bigger picture, at a larger picture, we have a collective, or you can say collective, fundamental or national identity. Now what is this collective, fundamental or national identity? The fundamental identity means the collective identity of the people living in a society. It is acquired by agreeing to the basic set of rules about how one should be governed and who should be governed. Remember the first function wherein everyone agreed to some kind of basic rules, right? So they are saying the fundamental identity means the collective identity. Okay, that means सारी आपकी आइडेंटिटीज़ पीछे हुई, पहले आपकी नेशनल आइडेंटिटी आएगी, दैट विल फॉर्म योर कलेक्टिव आइडेंटिटी, विच मीन्स वो सबकी सेम आइडेंटिटी होगी नेशन में, कलेक्टिव आइडेंटिटी इन अ सोसाइटी. इट इज़ एक्वायर्ड बाय अग्रीइंग to a basic set of rules about how one should be governed and who should be governed. So for example, remember the hypothetical situation I gave you for the first function, that it is a big group having different kinds of identities on the religion basis, on the class basis, caste basis, abilities basis, professional basis. So in order to have a national, fundamental or a collective identity, उन सब लोगों को अग्री करना पड़ेगा कुछ बेसिक सेट ऑफ रूल्स पे, दैट हु इज़ गवर्निंग देम एंड हाउ विल दे बी गवर्न. सो लेट्स सपोज वी अग्रीड, ओके, वी विल बी गवर्नड इन अ डेमोक्रेटिक वे, दैट टू थ्रू अ पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. सो एक आइडेंटिटी हमारी वो हुई, राइट, दैट इंडिया इज़ अ डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री, राइट. नाउ one has many sets of identity that exist prior to a constitution. Constitution से तो हमें identity मिल गई, which was collective identity, that is Indian and democratic and parliamentary form India is adopting. Now beside that one identity जो सबकी common है, individual identities भी होती है, but constitution के अलावा भी जो identities होती है वो कौन सी set of identities होती है. So first is the political identity and second is the moral identity. What is political identity? By agreeing to certain basic norms and principles, we constitute one's political identity. Now, we agreed to constitution, formed our national identity. Also, we agreed to the basic norms and principles, we constitute our political identity. जो भी norms constitution के अंदर दिए हुए, let's suppose constitution is talking about liberty, equality, citizenship, sovereignty, everything. सो जिस भी तरीके के नॉर्म्स जो भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लेट डाउन है, इफ़ वी आर अग्रीइंग टू इट एंड वी आर फॉलोइंग इट, सो इमीडिएटली हम एक पॉलिटिकल आइडेंटिटी बना लेते हैं, राइट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ आई एम सेइंग दैट माई कंट्री इज़ democratic, so my political identity is also associated with me having the right to vote, right, me having the right to choose my representative. Okay, now what are moral identities? Moral identities basically says one pursue their goals and aspirations within the constitutional norms. Okay, constitutional norms or principles, anything अगर वैसा वाला कोई word आता है उस that basically means that हमारा constitution कौन से principles को follow कर रहा है. Like our constitution, of our constitution, that is the Indian constitution, follows the norms and principles of equality, sovereignty, liberty, citizenship. So these are our norms. Okay, the constitution sets some limits upon what one may do and may not. Also, in a country like India, constitution do set limit on us. Like for example, basic example, I want to celebrate a function, like for example I am having wedding at my home, so it is my choice and I can enjoy my function, but I cannot play loud music after 10 PM because अगर मेरे पास ये फ्रीडम है कि मुझे अपने फंक्शन को इन्जॉय करना है, तो दूसरे के पास भी ये फ्रीडम होनी चाहिए दैट आफ्टर 10 PM दे वांट टू स्लीप, सो दे कैन स्लीप इन पीस. So in that way the constitution sets some limits upon what one may do and one may not. So हमें क्या ध्यान में रखना होता है, अगर मुझे कोई इन अ कंट्री लाइक इंडिया अगर मुझे कोई लिमिट फ्रीडम मिली है, so that freedom is with other person also. So if I want that other person should respect my freedom, I also need to respect the other person's freedom, right? So these are some basic norms and principles, and so it defines basic values that we may not trespass. This forms our moral identity. So moral identity कैसे बनती है? When we agree to the fact that yes, what rights are mine are equally to others as well, and we will morally, through morals क्या होते हैं? Basic values. Through our morals and ethics we will respect those values that will form our moral identity, right? What was political identity? You are agreeing to norms of the constitution and you are following yourself and binding yourself in political identity. When you are doing your moral duties within the constitution, you are forming your moral identity. And what is national identity? It is a collective identity of a whole group or a nation or a country as a whole, which is one single identity of each and every individual.